Vice President of Nasdaq, also the chairman, the interim chairman of the US-India Business Council Board of Directors. He said Nasdaq is cautiously optimistic about Indian companies being allowed to go for their primary listing in the United States. They are also looking for some sort of collaboration with the International Financial Services Center in Gift City. Listen in to that conversation.
One of the priorities that were mentioned was creating a startup to unicorn pipeline in collaboration with India. What exactly do you have in mind here?
Well, first of all, India already has that pipeline. It has over 260 unicorns that are ready at some point to go public. The culture of entrepreneurship and much of the ecosystem you need to take these companies public is there. We want to work with the Indian government about how to facilitate access to the global capital markets and the global investor. There is a great need for capital in India right now to fund the growth you need to create 12 million new jobs, which you need every year, to continue to work on your infrastructure and other things. And the United States business community wants to be part of that growth, and we want to help facilitate that capital formation.
Right. Any key terms of agreement that you may have in mind for this plan that you envisage?
Well, the budget of the government already highlights the need to encourage private equity and joint venture capital. We want to work with the government about how to do that and provide exits for that capital. The investors don't come together in venture capital and private equity until they find a way of exiting their investment. The public capital markets is a key part of that, and having the global investor be part of that creates higher valuations and more liquidity that can be used and recycled in the economy in so many ways. So we're going to be working with the government and business leaders, something NASDAQ knows very well about creating an ecosystem for capital formation and entrepreneurship.
Right. Now, when it comes to market access for U.S. companies in the Indian stock market and Indian companies in the U.S. stock market, any key issues that you would like to work with the Indian government or the Indian stock exchanges with?
Well, I think you need to take a step back. What is in the best interest of the Indian government and Indian citizens? And it is getting full value for their entrepreneurship, their innovation, and other countries looking for that, like China, Canada, Israel, the Nordic states, Singapore. They all allow their companies to initially list in the United States. Why? Not to help NASDAQ. They do it because we can help them get access to the global investor and to U.S. investors. And that capital which we help raise then is cycled back to their countries and used in their economies. So we think India should allow the same thing and to facilitate the initial listing of public companies in the United States.
Right. But has there been any kind of headway in those negotiations or talks, primary listing in the United States?
We have had productive calls with discussions with the finance ministry and others. I think their intention is to look at this. They're being careful, but they've talked about liberalizing their economy in this way and their capital markets. They're going to do it in a way that protects their investors and their interests. We understand that, but we think we can find a path.
Right. But do you feel that there will be some sort of conclusion on that this year?
Well, we will talk to the finance minister tomorrow and we'll hear what she has to say. But we're cautiously optimistic, let's say.
Okay. I'd also like to ask you about the performance of tech stocks. We've seen how tech stocks have been under pressure, India and globally as well. What's the mood around the tech sector in the United States and the trajectory of the performance of some of these tech stocks?
Well, as one expert has said, we're living in the age of uncertainty. There's much uncertainty about the economy, about international world affairs, about tensions in the world, of course, in the Ukraine and elsewhere, and that has caused investors to take a step back. But at the core, technology is synonymous with economic growth. Technological innovation creates jobs. That will not change. And we are still very optimistic about the technology sector. We have 250 companies in NASDAQ's pipeline wanting to go public. We think we'll start to see that open up in the fourth quarter, perhaps next year. And of course, many of those companies are technology companies. But the fact that technology is so closely associated with economic growth and job creation, we think is still there, and it's fundamental.
All right. So the important message there coming from the Vice President of NASDAQ that they will be holding consultations with the Finance Minister on the possibility of Indian companies initially listing in the United States.